Welcome to the video on how to load grid values from a GeoShare web map service. We consider the situation where foliage height GeoTIFF has been uploaded and made available on the GeoShare. A viewer has been added to publish the GeoTIFF as a web map service. Normally, web map services only provide images with one or more color channels. Converting these colors to a floating point number requires additional conversion steps, which is not ideal. Fortunately, a web map service published on Tygron's GeoShare can be accessed by a web map service overlay in your project to create floating point raster data directly. We will start with obtaining the link to the web map service of our web viewer on the GeoShare. To explore the GeoShare, click on the GeoShare link in the top right section of the screen to open the GeoShare. Once opened, click on the Public button to inspect the public share. Next, enter the Demo Projects folder, followed by Demo Heat Stress, Viewer, Foliage, and then click on the eye icon to inspect the Demo Heat Stress Foliage Viewer. In the inspection panel, click on the Web Map Service link to open the access point in the browser. Once opened, copy this web address. We will use the copied web address for our web map service overlay. To add a web map service overlay, hover over Overlays in the ribbon bar. And under Geodata, select Web Map Service. With the Web Map Service overlay selected, click on the Configuration wizard to open the Web Map Service wizard. Once the wizard is ready, select Next to begin. In this step, we select the first option, Import a Web Map Service, and click Next. Since we have a new web map service link, we select the second option. For the website URL, we paste the link we previously copied. Since the web map service on the GeoShare uses the open standard, we use the default service type option. Lastly, we provide a name for this new web map service. Click on the Add button to validate the service. Once accepted, click Next to continue. In this step, the layers are listed that are published by the web map service. We select the layer that is available and click Next. In this step, it is important to select the correct output overlay. Since we want to use the floating point value stored in the GeoTIFF, we select the output overlay named Grid Value Float 32. Also click on the first button such that this will be the main result type. Optionally, if we are not interested in the original image result, we could deselect the color output overlay. However, we keep it selected and click Finish to close the wizard. Now click on the Update Now link in the Web Map Service Overlay Detail panel. Once the calculations are complete, inspect the results. The Web Map Service overlay with the grid value result type can now be used as input for the heat stress overlay's foliage height, or more generally as input for a combo overlay. We can click in the 3D visualization to confirm that this overlay provides foliage height values. Now inspect the foliage visualized by the color result overlay. Notice that the color result child of the web map service overlay is not usable as input for the heat stress overlay, since the color values do not directly represent a foliage height. It would require mapping each color to a value using the overlay legend, which is not very practical nor precise. We will now configure the grid value overlay as a foliage height input for the heat stress overlay. Select the PE temperature overlay and in its detail panel, click on the Configuration wizard button. Once the wizard is ready, continue to Step 3 Foliage. In this step, select the third option named Advanced. Use a grid overlay and click Next. In this step, select the Web Map Service overlay. We can keep the time frame as it is and click Next. In the Output Overlay step, make sure the Foliage Output Overlay is selected. Once selected, click on the Finish button to close the wizard. Next, make sure the overlay is active in calculation. And recalculate the overlay by clicking on the Update Now link. Once the calculations are complete, select the Foliage Output overlay. It will be easier to compare the foliage overlay with the Web Map Service overlay when they use the same legend. To copy a legend from one overlay to another, select the Legend tab. Hover over the Copy button and select the Copy option. Now select the Web Map Service overlay and hover over the same Copy button to copy-paste the legend to this overlay. Now we can swap between these two overlays to compare them visually. You have now learned how to configure a Web Map Service overlay to load grid values from a viewer of a GeoTIFF on the GeoShare.